Hey everyone. I keep getting asked, how is that Z project you and your friend are doing coming along? So I thought I'd put together a little short video of what we've done so far, instead of having to explain myself each time. Well, as you can see, first of all, this is our workshop. It's where all the magic happens. Well, maybe not magic, but there is occasionally smoke and sometimes fire, so I guess that's close enough. Anyway, this is the project. It's a 1977 Datsun 280Z two-seater. Had it now for just over 3 years. It was really just a shell when we got it, and that's what we basically started with. Considering the age, we were pretty fortunate. It didn't have too much rust, which is good, since it seems to be getting increasingly harder to find these S30 chassis in good condition. Anyway, the first thing we did was to completely strip it of all of the coatings that come with from the factory, the underbody coating, inside by the floor pans and so on. We actually sandblasted it, or glass blasted it, actually, panel by panel, right here in this room. Then we put a couple coats of epoxy primer on it to stop it from rusting. One main goal was to really restore the chassis properly, with a focus on removing the rust, what rust there was, keeping it away and for the future. So we actually, once we coated it, we went around, we seam sealed all the different seams, still some more to do, which we'll be finishing before it goes off to paint. One of the first things we actually had to do was convert to a right-hand drive. And the car was left-hand drive, as you can see, it isn't anymore. And the reason for that is where we're from, that is Barbados in the Caribbean, we drive on the right-hand side of the road. So it was a little bit of a challenge, since this is probably the only S30 in this condition, the only Z in this condition that I've seen, possibly the first one that will drive on our roads in maybe, I don't know, maybe a decade or so. And so there isn't really much in the way of parts or support locally. So everything had to be the source or fabricated. So you can see it's a custom dash, or at least a variant of the original, which I always thought was pretty cool, nice and retro, but with a few adjustments. It is fiberglass, so we can do a little modification. Of course, the firewall was probably the biggest challenge, since that was for the left-hand drive, so we had to change that up. And the car itself has not actually left this room in the last 3 years. Everything has been done in here, all the fabricating, all the work. We try to do as much as we can ourselves, which is, as we said, challenging, but usually quite rewarding, and learn a lot as we go, but it's usually for the best. Aside from the right-hand drive, the obvious changes you'll notice are the flares, front and back. They're pretty wide, and we had to go wide with them. They're actually originally normal bolt-on flares that we then had fiberglassed into the fenders to give it a nice molded appearance. As I said, the reason we had to go wide is because of the wheels we're running, 10.5 in the back. These are SSR 3-piece forged, 10.5 in the back, 8.5 in the front. Definitely would not fit under the original fenders, and we needed a little bit more grip, a little bit more rubber. We also shaved off all of the front, the rear indicator holes, also where the antenna would have been, even the original fuel door. That's a little bit more subtle, but those are some of the mods that we did. The fenders themselves at the front, they've been customized quite a bit. See that indentation there? They're where the new front indicators are going to go. Side skirts are being finished up, but they are also pretty custom. And they are, as you can see, molded into the rear flares, as well as on the front. Even here in the front, molded in, front bumper's been molded in to give a nice clean look. Perhaps though the most customized part of the body is at the rear. Now we want it to be different, and as you can see, I think we've pretty much accomplished that. This is the rear of the car, fully customized, different lights, everything's been changed up quite a bit. We wanted to also run a twin exhaust. I kind of like how they look with the new Model Z's, and to be different. So we had to make some changes to the bumper anyway, so hey, why not go all the way? To run the exhaust, we also had to get rid of the fuel tank, since that's offset to one side. So this is the fuel tank we use. This is ATL's 12-gallon, what they call their well cell, or wheel well cell. Everything's a bit dusty and dirty right now, excuse all the stuff, but the fiberglass dust. Beta Motorsports rear fiberglass hatch. We have the lightweight carbon bonnet that they make as well, very light, but that's off getting some vents put into it to help with the airflow at the front of the car, cooling and stuff. Let me see the exhaust here. This is the exhaust we fabricated in pieces. It's full stainless steel, 3" into 2.5 at the back, MagnaFlow center barrel, HKS titanium tips, fully customized as well to clear everything. What else can I tell you? Well, going back to the interior a bit, as we mentioned, the fiberglass, the dash is fiberglass, customized right hand dash. We did have to make some changes to the support for the steering column, as well as the pedals. They had to be fabricated pretty much from scratch. No donor parts, as mentioned. As you can see, we did go with a hydraulic handbrake, and we modified the center console a bit as well to give it a nice clean look. I didn't want to go quite full 6-point roll cage, but at least not for now. But safety was a concern, so we did add the auto power roll bar. Then on the Momo steering wheel, we have a nice quick tilt to help get in and out of the car. There are the bride seats we'll be using. As you can see, the leg supports are pretty high, so that was the need for them to get in and out a little bit more easily. Suspension wise, again, pretty fully customized. We have the Technotoy lower control arms and rods, bump stops, Wilwood kit, brake kit. I have the rear matching set of them that we have to install, which would be an upgrade from the drums that the car came in from the factory. Also, fully customized coilover setup from, I'm not sure where we got that from again, but we sectioned the struts to allow for the adjustable Tokiko, shorter Tokiko inserts, fully adjustable. So they will be installed. Well, most of these things were installed, at least test fitted, came off the car for it to be worked on. These are the rears here without the brakes. Arizona Z car mustache bar, McKinney engine mounts, custom drive shaft, so on. What else is there? Well, okay, onto the engine. It's not much to look at right now. It's quite stripped down, but this is the R33 Skyline GTR RB26 twin turbo block. Like the car, we wanted it to be a complete restoration. So while every single nut and bolt and weather strip, floor plug, everything on the car is going to be either changed out completely or modified in some way, for the engine we will be using all new parts also. So this is the old stuff here, which we won't be using, but you can see some of the newer parts, exhaust wise, Tomei oil pump, pulleys, cam gears, Tomei head gasket, timing belts, and on and on. And we have obviously forging up one time, ready intake manifold. Not sure which turbos we're going to be using yet, but I do want to keep it twin turbo for the time being. Looking for maybe 500 to 550 at the wheels, nothing too crazy, definitely within the range of the engine, and obviously I'll be able to handle a good bit more if we decided we wanted to. Of course, for the power, we had to upgrade the differential, which I don't have here, but we just got in an OS Gaikin LSD. That should be able to give us some nice power to the ground. Somewhere here, We have the 300 ZX half shafts, which have been shortened a bit by flipping the bearing cage, a necessary mod for them to fit on the 280Z with the original R200. Fairly simple mod. The original U-joint half shafts would not have lasted very long with the power we expect and the setup that we're using, so that was a necessary mod. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few things, but that should cover the main parts. It's a rotisserie built for the restoration, front and back. The room in here is not quite level, so it needed to be quite customized. The engine should hopefully be going back in a few weeks after we rebuild it, at which point the car will be more or less going off to get painted once all the little fiberglass work is done. And it's been, as I said, about 3 years and counting. A lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of blood, sweat, tears, everything. But hopefully it will be worth it when it's all done. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and try and make another post update as we make more progress. But thanks for watching. See you later.